Chapter 11. Xiao Yu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Nyo iwo Studio Editor. Nyo iwo Studio. A smile began to form on Yimo's face. He was excited. He'd never thought that the third channel of the dragon energy would be awakened in such a situation. With that, his power had now risen to 6 stones, and he could stand toe-to-toe with someone of the spirit-cultivating third realm. That power was enough for him to defeat Mo Feng without breaking a sweat. Crack! The sound of shattering bone rang through the crowd, and with it came a painful scream. Most of the people averted their eyes as they thought Yi Mo was defeated at the hands of Mo Feng. Even Qi Yin was on the verge of turning her head. Yet the scream came from Mo Feng. His right hand was crushed, and blood was dripping from it. Even the white bone underneath could be seen with naked eyes. How is this possible? The crowd reacted, shocked by what they had just seen. Yi Mo snatched the pill refining powder and snorted. So weak. Did you have too much fun last night? As soon as he finished his sentence, the girl that was standing behind Mo Feng hit her face, and the crowd burst into laughter. Yi Mo looked at the state of Mo Feng's hand and began to wonder if he should retreat. The fight he had a few moments ago was a fight to the death. If the dragon energy had suddenly rushed to his mortal gate, it meant that his body was in danger of collapsing from fatigue. And now that he'd crushed the hand of a young master from the Mo family, he was going to be in deep trouble. The payment for the powder, Yi Mo said as he threw the gold piece on the counter and rushed out the 100 treasure pavilion. Hey! Where do you think you're going? The 2 people that were standing behind Mo Feng shouted. They began sprinting towards Yi Mo. Before they'd even raised their feet, Mo Feng stopped them. Mo Feng stood up while holding his crushed arm. His face was as cold as ice. That person is very suspicious, Mo Feng said. He only broke through his right hand's mortal gate recently, yet he has the power to defeat a martial artist of the spirit-cultivating second realm. Go and investigate who he is first. Don't act rashly. No matter who you are, you're going to pay for what you've done to me. Mo Feng said. Yi Mo walked out of the 100 treasure pavilion, regretting that he had acted on impulse a few moments ago. But Mo Feng was a bully. Even if Yi Mo had no hidden powers, he would have done the same thing well. What's done is done. There's no use regretting it. But just as Yi Mo arrived outside the shop, he was stopped by a middle-aged man with spiky hair and a muscular body. A spirit-cultivating 7th realm martial artist. Yi Mo felt the energy coming from the man. His face darkened as he worried the man was a member of the Mo clan. A spirit-cultivating 7th realm martial artist could already be considered one of the strongest in Limestone City. Relax, little brother. I'm not from the Mo clan. My name is Xiao Feng. The lady I serve wishes to meet you, the man said. You're from the Xiao clan? Yi Mo asked. Who do you serve? Milady's name is Xiao Yu. She has quite the reputation in Limestone City. I suppose you've heard of her. Xiao Yu. Yi Mo's face grew even darker. Heard of her? She's famous. Even though Yi Mo had yet to meet her, he'd heard about her from other Yi clan members. She was already a beauty even though she was only 15 years old and was ranked number 8 on last year's Limestone champion list. The most important part was that she was a charm master herself. Alchemists like Mo Feng were rare in the city, but a charm master like Xiao Yu was even rarer. That was because becoming a charm master was 10 times harder than becoming an alchemist. Xiao Yu was one of the 3 charm masters in all of Limestone City. The reason for her fame was not only due to her beauty, but also due to her job as a charm master. Of course I've heard of her. But a mere assistant like me shouldn't have anything to do with someone like Miss Xiao, Yi Mo replied. Xiao Yu was like an angel sitting in heaven while Yi Mo was just some peasant on earth. Even if Yi Mo did not think lightly of himself, the strength he had was nothing compared to Xiao Yu. Milady and I were in the 100 Treasure Pavilion when you made that scene. For someone who hasn't even reached the spirit-cultivating realm, you did quite a marvelous job of shutting Mo Feng up. That's not common, Xiao Feng smiled. Yi Mo shrugged and smiled, not giving Xiao Feng any answers. Milady is waiting for you at the Shining Moon Pavilion. Please come with me, Xiao Feng said. Yi Mo nodded and followed Xiao Feng. The Shining Moon Pavilion was one of the most luxurious restaurants in the city. One meal could cost someone's yearly salary. Xiao Feng led Yi Mo up into a private dining room where a girl was sitting inside, silent and elegant. The girl wore a snow-white dress, her long dark hair hung like the Milky Way, her eyebrows were like 2 crescent moons, her beauty could outshine the stars, her skin was white like snow, and her aura was of pure elegance. She was like an angel that had come down from heaven. The only thing that upset Yi Mo was that the girl was wearing a mask that covered the bottom half of her face. But from the shape of her face, Yi Mo guessed that behind the cloth was a beauty to which no other could compare. Xiao Yu stood up as she saw Yi Mo approaching, her eyes shining. My friend, please, sit. Yi Mo took seat in the chair. Miss Xiao, what do you need from this little assistant? Let's get straight to the point, shall we? I'd like to work with you, Xiao Yu replied. Work with me? Yi Mo startled. Miss Xiao, I'm just an average assistant. Could a normal assistant possess the strength to crush the hand of the Mo clan's young master? Yi Mo replied with an awkward smile. May I know of your name? Xiao Yu asked. Yi Mo. You're from the Yi clan? Xiao Feng asked in surprise. Yep. Just an assistant in the Yi clan. Such a treasure was wasted on an assistant. What was Yi Quan thinking? Xiao Feng said. Beats me. Yi Mo has already given up all hope on the Yi clan. His father Yi Qin used to bring them such glory, but they didn't even give him a proper funeral after his death. Looks like the Yi clan wasn't treating you well. A genius like you shouldn't be wasted just being an assistant, Xiao Yu smiled. Skip the formalities. What do you need me to work with you on? Yi Mo asked. Since you hurt Mo Feng, he'll definitely come back for revenge. He could easily find out who you are, and Yi Quan wouldn't be that stupid to offend the Mo clan just for some assistant, Xiao Yu explained. But I can even give you proper resources for you to train. As long as you promise me one thing. What Xiao Yu offered was tempting. Yet, Yi Mo kept his cool and asked, and what would that be? That you help me get into the top 5 in this year's Limestone Champion list. Chapter 12. Limestone Champion list. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Nyo-i.bo Studio Editor. Nyo-i.bo Studio. The tournament of the Limestone Champion list was held once every year. The rankings on the list reflected the strength of each clan in the city. Martial artists that were in the top 5 were scouted by one of the 3 major alliances of Tianwu Kingdom. It was normal for the list to be monopolized by the 4 biggest clans of Limestone City, but once in a while, members of one of the minor clans fought their way onto the list. The tournament was a stage for lesser members of each clan to show off their skills. If they performed well in the tournament, their status in the clan rose with them. And those who stood in one of the top 10 spots of the list were the best of the best in Limestone City. The tournament's prospects consisted of only a handful of people. The 2 geniuses from the Qin clan, Qin Tianmu and Qin Xiaoyang, both of whom were spirit-cultivating 5th realm martial artists, Yi Changsheng Yi Ming's brother, Yi Ho, of the Yi clan, a 5th realm and 3rd realm respectively, Mo Wujiang and Mo Feng of the Mo clan, 5th realm and 2nd realm respectively. The only prospect from the Xiao clan was Xiao Yu, who was a spirit-cultivating 2nd realm martial artist, but her ability as a charm master allowed her to control a beast that had the strength of a spirit-cultivating 3rd realm martial artist. Yet her strength was not enough to win against the geniuses from other clans. If Yemo wanted to secure at least 5th place, he needed the power equivalent to a spirit-cultivating third-realm martial artist at a bare minimum. And now he had to help Xiao Yu achieve a top 5 ranking, too. Because only then will they get the chance to join one of the 3 major alliances. Miss Xiao, you're not joking right now, are you? Yemo forced a smile. With his current power, he had to rely purely on luck to defeat a first-realm martial artist. Even though Yemo had the strength of 6 stones, which was equivalent to a third realm, he still didn't have the necessary martial art technique, skills, agility, and reaction speed. No, I'm not joking. You're from around here, you should know the situation the Xiao family is facing right now, Xiao Yu explained. Every other one of the 3 big clans has sent out at least 2 participants while we Xiao clan has only 1. Plus, you don't want to be ignored by others any longer, am I right? What if I fail to help you get into the top 5? Yemo asked. He had intended to join the tournament. Yi Qin joined the tournament at the age of 14 and won first place. As soon as she had heard the hint of Yemo agreeing, her eyes lit up. Her smile was too attractive for Yemo to avert his gaze. You're not a failure. With enough practice and help from the Xiao clan, you might have a chance to get into the top 5 of the list. Fine. Since the beauty asked, there's no reason for me to decline. Yemo smiled. Beauty. You haven't even seen my face. How are you sure that I'm a beauty? It's possible that I'm hiding an ugly face under this mask, you know. Yu Xiao asked. Man's intuition. Yemo replied. Xiao Yu replied to his comment with a smile and said, starting tomorrow, come to the Zhao's mansion when you have time. Xiao Feng will personally teach you. Be prepared. The next 2 months won't be easy. After Yemo left the Shining Moon Pavilion, he went straight back to Ye's mansion. Xiao Chao was waiting for Yemo in his room. Her hand was holding a set of new clothes. As soon as she saw Yemo return, she smiled and said, Young Master Yemo, you're finally back. Xiao Chao, didn't I tell you not to leave Yimei's side? Yemo said. You don't have to worry about me, young master. Miss Yimei has already warned Yiming not to come near me again. Yimei handed Yemo the new clothes and continued, here. The shirt I made last time was torn by Yiming. I've made you a new set. Try it on. The clothes were made of a high-quality purple fabric. It must have cost quite a fortune to make them. Yemo's eyes started to tear up. All of the things that he wore were made by Xiao Chao. Thank you, Xiao Chao. Yemo took off the faded shirt in front of Xiao Chao and changed into the purple clothes. He stood in front of the mirror, admiring his new, charming looks. Yemo was handsome to begin with, but with these new clothes, people won't mistake him for a poor villager ever again. You look more stunning already, Xiao Chao said and blinked. It's all thanks to you, Xiao Chao. Yemo smiled. Oh no. I forgot to make a new pair of shoes, too. I'll go back and make them now and have them sent to you tomorrow. As soon as she finished her sentence, she turned around and ran out of the room. Yemo looked at the shoes that he was wearing. They really didn't match the top he was wearing. That busy body. Yemo sat down and began to meditate. He focused the 3 channels of dragon energy in his energy center. He was ready to break through his mind's mortal gate again. The 3 channels to dragon energy began to roar in his energy center and started to rush towards his mind's mortal gate. Buzz. When the 3 channels of dragon energy collided, it made a buzzing sound in Yemo's head. After 6 hours of meditating, the 3 channels of energy merged together and rushed towards Yemo's head. Suddenly, Yemo felt a surging pain coming from his head. He quickly threw his eyes wide open and grabbed his head. The pain kept getting worse until he finally couldn't take it anymore and screamed in pain. The pain lasted for 1 whole minute. After that, it began to ease up slowly. Yi Mo laid on his bed head down while breathing heavily. A smile began to form on his face. "I've finally opened my mind's mortal gate." Yi Mo sat up again and guided his spiritual energy to his brain. When he opened his eyes, he finally realized the importance of opening one's mind's mortal gate. He was able to see much clearer with a heightened awareness. The mosquito that was flying in front of him even seemed slower than usual. So the mind's mortal gate helps boost a person's reaction speed. Let me try using my dragon energy on it. He controlled the 3 channels of dragon energy to rush towards the mortal gate. Naturally, his spiritual energy made way for the dragon energy to pass through. With all 3 channels in use, everything was even clearer than before. The mosquito moved even slower. After 1 month of training with the dragon energy, Yi Mo finally understood its theory. 1 channel of dragon energy had the attack power equivalent to 2 stones and possessed 2 times faster reaction speed than a spirit-cultivating first-realm martial artist. The next morning, a dark-haired man wearing purple clothes was seen practicing martial techniques in the bamboo hill behind the Yes mansion. The Yi clan had only taught Yi Mo 2 martial techniques, the low-grade spiritual level martial technique, the Spirit Serpent's Palm, and the mid-grade spiritual level martial technique, the Wind God's Kick. Martial art techniques were divided into 4 levels: spiritual level, mortal level, supreme level, and deity level. Each level was then divided into low, mid, and high grade. Yi Mo was considered lucky as a collateral member to have been able to learn the mid-grade spiritual level martial technique, the Wind God's Kick. Yet, the Wind God's Kick required the user to have at least broken through both of their legs' mortal gates to maximize its potential. For now, Yi Mo could only focus on training the Spirit Serpent's Palm. Yi Mo's arm moved like a venomous snake through the air, looking for its prey. When it located its prey, his palm moved forward and struck the ironwood tree. Bang! Half of Yi Mo's palm drilled itself into the wood. Even though the Spirit Serpent's Palm is a low-grade spiritual level martial technique, it's not as bad as the mid-grade techniques through balancing both softness and prowess. Yi Mo withdrew his palm and nodded. He had fully mastered the Spirit Serpent's Palm. With just the power from his spiritual energy, he had dug half of his palm into the tree. It's really something that a mere collateral member could produce such force with the spiritual serpent's palm. It was Yi Ming who spoke. Yi Mo knew that Yi Ming must have been up to something. "Nice shirt. Too bad your shoes are all ruined. Why don't you change into these new shoes? It'll make you look better," Yi Ming said as he took out a new pair of canvas shoes. Chapter 13. Stealing his master's technique. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Nyo-i.bo Studio Editor. Nyo-i.bo Studio. Yi Mo stared at the purple shoes that Yi Ming was holding and remembered that Xiao Chao had mentioned that she wanted to make him a new pair. Yi Mo was furious. Making a pair of new shoes required a lot of time. She must have stayed up all night working on them. Yi Ming was digging his own grave. "Stop right there, Yi Mo," Yi Ming said as he noticed Yi Mo's anger. "I didn't do anything to that servant. It seems that she's treating you quite well." Yi Ming waved his arms around, acting all innocent. "What do you want? Are you trying to use a girl as a hostage? Why not just come at me?" Yi Mo roared. "I was waiting for you to say that," Yi Ming said and threw Yi Mo the shoes. "Tonight, right here, we'll settle everything once and for all." "Fine. No matter who wins tonight, you're not to harm Xiao Chao again. If you do, I'm going to kill you," Yi Mo said and licked his lips. "You better show up tonight," Yi Ming said as he ignored Yi Mo's threat and left. Yi Mo felt that Yi Ming seemed different, but chose to ignore his intuition. Now that he had awakened 3 channels of dragon energy in his mind's mortal gate, a spirit-cultivating second-realm martial artist posed no threat to him. Since Yi Mei had warned Yi Ming to not touch Xiao Chao, he must not have kidnapped her, but instead took the shoes she was making for Yemo. When Yemo had returned to his room, he found Xiao Chao crying on the table. "Why are you crying again?" Yemo held the shoes in front of her and smiled. As soon as she heard Yemo's voice, she quickly got up. Her eyes were filled with tears. Yet, when she noticed the shoes in Yemo's hand, she quickly smiled. "Young master, you got the shoes back." "Yup. Now hurry up and go get some rest. You stayed up all night making these, didn't you?" After Yemo consoled Xiao Chao, she went back to her room. Yemo ate his lunch and went to the pill refining chamber. A few moments after he arrived, Elder Een came in with a few packs of herbs. "Yemo, start the fire. I still have to go to the Alchemist Guild later." "Okay," Yemo replied and started the fire, using the fan in his hand to keep the fire alive. Elder Een threw all the ingredients into the cauldron and put the lid on. After that, he began to transfer his spiritual energy into the cauldron. Yemo thought as he was fanning the flame, the hardest part of pill refining is forming the shape. It depends on how well the alchemist controls his spiritual energy. Each type of pill requires a different strength. Wait, what if I focus my dragon energy to my mind's mortal gate? Would I be able to see how Elder Een controls his spiritual energy? That said, Yemo diverted a channel of the dragon energy to his mind's mortal gate, increasing his reaction speed and eyesight. This allowed him to barely see Elder Yin's spiritual energy. Yemo focused a second channel of dragon energy into his mind's mortal gate. This time, his reaction speed and eyesight tripled, and he could clearly see how Elder Een controlled his red spiritual energy. In his mind, Yemo cheered. By using his photographic memory, he memorized the method used to form the spirit fortifying pill. When Elder Een had finished refining the cauldron of pills, he took them and left the chamber. Yemo was not rushed to try and refine the pills as he had to meet up with Xiao Yu at the Zhao's mansion later that evening. He could try it next time when he had the chance. Yemo cleaned the pill refining chamber and left the Ye's mansion through its back door. He brought a tiger face mask along on his way to the Zhao's mansion and had put it on. If a member of the Yi clan was seen going in and out of the Xiao clan, it would bring him certain trouble. The Zhao's mansion was located in the southern part of the city, which Yemo was walking towards. After a few minutes, a huge mansion came into his view, a mansion that was more luxurious than the Ye's mansion. Yemo approached two of the servants guarding the door and said, "My name is Yemo. Miss Xiao Yu is expecting me." "Yes, Master Xiao Feng has already informed us." "You may enter," one of the servants said. "Thank you," Yemo said to the servant and entered Zhao's mansion. The layout of the mansion was almost identical to the Ye's mansion. Past the front gate was the training ground where a few members of the Xiao clan were training their martial art techniques. "Hey, look! A weird guy in a tiger mask just came in," one of the members said. "I think he's the outside help that Sister Ye has requested. But don't you think he's too weak? From the movement of his spiritual energy, it seems to me that he has only broken through his right hand's mortal gate." "Are you sure? Why would Sister Ye invite this kind of weakling?" "Humph. Let me test him. If he can't even beat me, then he doesn't have what it takes to help us out," a man with dark skin said as he marched towards Yemo. "My name is Yemo. I was invited by Miss Xiao Yu to act as a foreign aide." Yemo cupped his palm and said to the dark-skinned man, "Could you please help me inform Xiao Feng that I've arrived? You'll have to go through me first before you can meet Master Xiao Feng." The dark-skinned man let out all of his spiritual energy as he crouched down like a tiger and pounced towards Yemo. Spirit cultivating first realm. Yemo was still cautious when facing a spirit cultivating first realm martial artist. He instantly summoned a channel of the dragon energy to his mind's mortal gate. Even though the landing tiger was a simple technique, it required high muscle density on the legs and arms. If one had mastered its form and technique, they could very well be a fierce tiger from the wild. With the help of the dragon energy, Yi Mo's reaction speed had increased. Yi Mo saw the accurate and powerful landing tiger technique, but he didn't have the power to counter the attack, as he hadn't yet opened the mortal gates in both of his legs. He could only twist his body and evade the incoming attack. The man relaunched his attack on Yi Mo and was once again evaded by him. The member of the Shao clan was slightly shocked by the sight of Shao Pejuan, who was a spirit cultivating first realm, missing all of his attacks. "Are you only capable of running?" Shao Pejuan screamed. He stabilized his position and his palm shot like a cannon towards Yi Mo's head. High-grade spiritual level martial art technique, air-splitting palm. As soon as the martial art technique was evoked, the air exploded and torrents of wind roared towards Yi Mo. Looks like the tiger-faced kid has forced Shao Pejuan to use the air-splitting palm. He's good as dead. Yi Mo's expression tensed. The attack range was too wide for him to evade. He focused 2 channels of dragon energy into his right hand's mortal gate. His right arm charged forward like a snake, piercing through the multi-layered winds. As soon as Shao Pejuan saw his attack dispelled, his expression changed and he prepared to evoke another attack. But Yi Mo was not going to give him the chance to attack again. The spirit serpent's palm could break through strong forces with its agile attack. What's more was that Yi Mo's right hand currently had the power of 4 stones. Yi Mo's palm quickly wrapped around Shao Pejuan's right arm, and with a push, Shao Pejuan was thrown back by sheer force. The fight ended in an instant. The members of the Shao clan stared at Shao Pejuan, who was now lying on the ground, unable to believe what they'd just witnessed. Shao Pejuan was considered second only to Xiao Yu. Even with the help of the air-splitting palm, he lost to a foreign aide in a matter of seconds. Chapter 14. Heaven, Piercing Thrust. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Translator. Nyo-i.bo Studio Editor. Nyo-i.bo Studio. Now, can anyone tell me where Shao Feng is? Yi Mo smiled. Now that he had broken through the mortal gates in his mind and right hand, he could easily win against spirit-cultivating first-realm martial artists with the help of the 3 dragon energies. Master Shao Feng is in the martial pavilion. I'll bring you there, one of the disciples said as he recovered from the shock. Thank you, Yi Mo replied and followed him to the martial pavilion. In the far corner of the mansion stood the huge martial pavilion. Xiao Yu and Shao Feng were standing on the balcony on the top floor and had witnessed everything that had happened a few moments ago. Miss, you really know how to choose your people. At first, I wondered if it was just pure luck that Yi Mo defeated Mo Feng. Looks like I was mistaken, Shao Feng said. He's Yi Qing's son. Of course he's good, Xiao Yu said and smiled. Wait, he's Yi Qing's son? Shao Feng asked, his face full of shock. Almost everyone who lived in the Limestone City has heard of Yi Qing's story. He won the first place of the Limestone Champion list at the age of 14 and was scouted by one of the 3 major alliances, the Qingyun Alliance. During his training at the Qingyun Alliance, he'd shown extraordinary talents. In 3 years, he'd made himself known to the whole Tianwu kingdom. I've sent someone to investigate his background beforehand, Xiao Yu said. Just before Yi Qing went to participate in the Battle of Yidao, he had a child. And that child is Yi Mo. I'm just not sure why he remained silent for the past 15 years. Yi Mo's already 15 now and he'd just broken through his right hand's mortal gate. Are you sure that we should put our hopes on him? Shao Feng questioned. Bov Yi Mo had already missed the golden age for him to break through all of his mortal gates. Martial artists that have not reached the spirit-cultivating first realm before the age of 15 usually failed as martial artists in the future. I hope so. If he can help me get into the top 5, then I don't have to marry Man Tai anymore, Xiao Yu said as she went back into the pavilion. Shao Feng watched Yi Mo from above and sighed. I hope she's right about him. Yi Mo followed the Shao clan's disciple to the martial pavilion as Shao Feng came out from it. Yi Mo, follow me, Shao Feng said. Yi Mo nodded and followed him inside. I've already taken care of your problems with Mo Feng, you don't have to worry about him coming for revenge anymore. Train as much as you want at our clan's mansion. Thank you. It will be hard for you to break through another mortal gate in 2 months. We'll have to work on your martial techniques, Shao Feng said as he took out 2 skill books, one with the word heaven piercing thrust on it. Shao Feng pointed to the book and said, this book was bought for you by Miss Xiao Yu. It contains the secret to a high-grade spiritual level martial technique, the heaven piercing thrust. Yi Mo's eyes shone as soon as he heard that it was a high-grade spiritual level martial technique. That was the most powerful martial technique he'd ever learned. What's the other book in your hand? Yi Mo asked curiously. Milady also bought this from the 100 Treasure Pavilion. She pitied the guy that was selling it and bought it. But it's an incomplete skill book. However, the guy boasted that it contained a mid-grade mortal level martial technique. The Qin clan didn't have any mid-grade mortal level martial techniques. Incomplete. Can I study it? Yi Mo asked. It's incomplete. It might help with your training, but I don't think you should waste your time on this martial technique. I just want to study it. It won't use up a whole lot of my time. Shao Feng could not do anything but nod to Yi Mo's persistent. He handed the second book to Yi Mo too. Here are 10 spirit fortifying pills. Take them and start training, Shao Feng said as he took out 10 pills and gave them to Yi Mo. You can train here. Oh right, by the way, we also have 2 other foreign aides training on the 2nd floor, Shao Feng said as he headed towards the 2nd floor. Yi Mo clenched his teeth and crushed the pills in his hand as he heard what Shao Feng had said. And here I thought Xiao Yu wanted my strength, but in the end, I'm just some backed up. There were a total of 3 foreign aides, and only the one person who could defeat the other 2 had the right to participate in the tournament in the name of the Shao clan. Since the other 2 were training on the 2nd floor, it meant their power must have surpassed Yi Mo's. Looks like I have to defeat those 2 on the 2nd floor before I can join the Limestone Champion List tournament. No worries, they are just going to be mere stepping stones for me. Yi Mo put away the incomplete skill book and opened the Heaven Piercing Thrust skill book. The Heaven Piercing Thrust is a finger martial technique suitable for anyone in the spirit cultivating realm. It allowed the user to shape the energy around their fingers into swords. Martial artists in the energy shaping realm could even conjure blade auras from their spiritual energy to kill people without any solid weapons. Even though the introduction to the Heaven Piercing Thrust might have been exaggerated, Yi Mo studied the whole book and learned the secrets of the martial technique in his hand. Yi Mo extended his index and middle fingers and posed according to the book. He imagined his fingers were a sharp sword, and he thrust them towards the open air. A burst of cracking sound could be heard from where he'd struck and a thin layer of spiritual energy could be seen covering his fingers. The book said that if I were to reach the energy shaping realm, this Heaven Piercing Thrust could shoot out energy bolts, Yi Mo said as he kept thrusting towards the tree in front of him. This technique sure is something. Even if the spirit serpent's palm was useful, it lacked in damage. This Heaven Piercing Thrust could be my main attacking technique from now on. You've mastered the basics of the Heaven Piercing Thrust in under an hour. Impressive, Shao Feng said as he came down from the 2nd floor. Let's see how much you've improved, shall we? As soon as Shao Feng finished his sentence, Yi Mo's fingers formed into a sword and thrust towards Shao Feng. Shao Feng manifested his spiritual energy on both of his palms and smiled. Just as Yi Mo's attack was about to reach his eyes, Shao Feng caught it between his 2 fingers. I'll suppress my power to spirit cultivating First Realm, Shao Feng said as he pushed Yi Mo away. First Realm, huh? Yi Mo focused 2 channels of dragon energy to his mind's mortal gate and 1 to his right hand's mortal gate. He shifted his stance while his hand acted like a viper, striking toward Xiao Feng. The spirit serpent's palm from the Yi clan fights raw power with swift movements. Xiao Feng identified Yi Mo's technique with just a glance, yet he remained where he stood. Just as Yi Mo's spirit serpent's palm was about to hit Xiao Feng disappeared from in front of him. "Behind me!" Yi Mo shouted in his mind, but Xiao Feng's fist was already closing in on him. Yi Mo quickly bent over to evade the attack and turned, his spirit serpent's palm gliding towards Xiao Feng once again. Even though Yi Mo had a good reaction speed, his movement was still slow compared to Xiao Feng. Xiao Feng withdrew his fist, focused his spiritual energy to his leg inside. Kicked Yi Mo's waist. But it was at that moment Yi Mo's spirit serpent's palm changed its direction. He focused 2 channels of the dark dragon energy to his index and middle finger and shot the heaven. Piercing thrust towards the incoming kick. Boom! Both of them were sent back flying 3 steps. But Xiao Feng's face was full of surprise. Even though he had suppressed his power, his battle senses were still of a spirit cultivating 7th realm. This kid's reaction speed is way too fast. Chapter 15. Flying Daggers. Don't even think about it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Nyo-i.bo Studio Editor. Nyo-i.bo Studio. My speed is still too slow. If I can break through the mortal gates in both of my legs, I can increase my speed and fight against spirit cultivating 1st realm martial artist without breaking a sweat. Yi Mo did not bask in the fact that he had just stood his ground against Xiao Feng. Instead, he began to analyze the match he just had. Yi Mo had not reached the spirit cultivating realm yet, thus he wasn't able to utilize his energy as fast as he wanted to. Not bad. Looks like your senses are quite sharp. What's lacking is your speed, but we can't blame you for that, Xiao Feng said. I'll try my best to open one of the mortal gates in my legs before the tournament, Yi Mo said. The 2 on the 2nd floor are spirit cultivating 2nd realm martial artists. You better give it all you've got. Milady has high hopes for you, Xiao Feng said and left the martial pavilion. After practicing the heaven piercing thrust for a few more hours, Yi Mo left the Zhao's mansion. He still had a duel with Yi Ming later that night in the bamboo forest. Even though Yi Mo knew Yi Ming must have prepared something, he would still go as it was about time they ended their rivalry once and for all. The night came and the temperature dropped. Yi Mo finished his dinner and went to the bamboo forest, not forgetting to warn Senior Fu to stay indoors that night. The forest was empty when Yi Mo arrived. The atmosphere was ominous, like a sleeping lion would wake up any moment and jump its prey. Yi Mo became cautious as he knew what type of person Yi Ming was. So he's just all talk and no show. Yi Mo said as he looked around. Suddenly, a flash came from deep inside the forest, and a flying dagger shot towards Yi Mo. Yi Mo was shocked by the sudden attack. He focused his sight and used his dragon energy to evade the attack. The dagger flew past him and struck down the bamboos behind him. A mortal weapon. The assailant did not wait for Yi Mo to recover. 10 other flying daggers formed a straight line in the air and shot towards Yi Mo. The dagger that was shot at Yi Mo first had red spiritual energy on it, appearing like a thin barrier wrapping around the dagger. The energy was not fully activated, which could only mean that it came from someone in the spirit cultivating realm. If all 10 of the daggers were to hit Yi Mo, he'd definitely be dead. He moved 2 channels of the dragon energy to his mind's mortal gate, doubling his reaction speed. Every dagger that was shooting towards Yi Mo slowed down to the point where he could easily evade them. But Yi Mo chose not to do so. Like a serpent, he reached out his hand and caught all of the daggers. The red energy on them began to evaporate. One of the dragon energy roared in his right hand and with one flick, he threw a dagger towards the direction from which it came. The bamboo around the spot where the dagger struck all broke down. Don't hide like a coward. Come out and face me, Yi Mo scorned. Never thought that you would be able to evade those daggers. The voice came from the forest. Yi Ming walked out from the darkness, his arm folded in front of his chest. Yi Mo scanned the forest and did not spot anyone else. So, you dare to come alone. Now that I've broken through my mind's mortal gate, I've reached the spirit-cultivating first realm. I'm now strong enough to deal with you alone. Yi Ming smirked and began to charge towards Yi Mo. Martial artists in the spirit-cultivating realm were able to manifest spiritual energy outside their body. They were also able to add elements to their spiritual energy through mental cultivation and increase their speed by absorbing the natural energy. A person can only be considered a martial artist once they have reached the spirit-cultivating realm. Yi Mo smiled and evoked the spirit serpent's palm to counter Yi Ming's attack. The spirit serpent's palm. Taste my Buddha's palm. Yi Ming smirked as he saw Yi Mo using the spirit serpent's palm. He diverted his red spiritual energy to his right palm and pushed forward. Wind sprouted from Yi Ming's attack and the bamboo behind Yi Mo shook drastically. The Buddha's palm was a high-grade spiritual level martial technique that had made the Yi clan famous. Yi Mo had always wanted to learn that technique but never had the chance as it was only taught to direct disciples of the Yi clan. Let's see if your Buddha's palm's stronger than my heaven-piercing thrust. Yi Mo's hand was cut by the wind blade but he withstood it. He diverted one channel of the dragon energy into his right hand's mortal gate and thrust 2 fingers towards Yi Ming's palm. Swish! Yi Mo's fingers cut through the air. With the help of one dragon energy, his attack had the power of spirit cultivating first realm attacks. Who would win the clash between the two high-end spiritual level martial techniques depended solely on who would be able to use their technique better. The Buddha's palm. The heaven-piercing thrust. Bang! Yi Mo's fingers collided with Yi Ming's palm, the pressure from the clash blowing all the leaves around them away. The two were each thrown back 6 feet, yet an indent could clearly be seen on Yi Ming's palm. Yi Mo fought the palm with his fingers. The dragon energy had much more power than normal spiritual energy. A mere Buddha's palm would not be enough to stand toe-to-toe to the mighty dragon. It was a beast of ancient times, one that could fight the gods themselves, the lord of all creatures. Yi Ming was confident that he was able to defeat Yi Mo now that he'd reached the spirit-cultivating first realm. He never thought that he would lose upon their first collision. Angered, he sprinted towards Yi Mo, as if his legs had merged with the wind itself. The wind god's kick. Yi Mo's vision was not able to catch up with Yi Ming's speed. All he could see were shadows of Yi Ming's movement. From the right. Yi Mo stepped back a little, but he was too late. Yi Ming has already arrived at his right side, landing countless kicks into Yi Mo. Yi Mo kept using his hands to shield himself. Die! Yi Ming put in extra effort in his final kick and sent Yi Mo flying. He took out another dagger in his hand. The dagger was different than the one he'd used before. A powerful spiritual energy vibrated throughout the whole blade. Swish! The dagger cut through the air and flew straight towards Yi Mo with extraordinary speed. With only one channel of dragon energy in his mind's mortal gate, Yi Mo was not fast enough to react. The dagger went straight through Yi Mo's chest and blood began to spew out. Yet the dagger did not stop, but instead made a weird U-turn and flew towards Yi Mo again. Yi Mo quickly focused the third channel of the dragon energy to his right hand and tried to catch the dagger. You're seeking your own death. Do you think you can catch a magic weapon with your bare hands? Yi Ming smirked. Even though there was only a level difference between mortal weapons and magic weapons, the magic weapons allowed the user to infuse their spiritual energy into it. Such weapon could cut through hair or slice through steels. Any martial artist of the spirit-cultivating first realm could fight toe-to-toe with a second realm if they were wielding a magic weapon. Yi Mo caught the dagger with his hands, but barely. Both of his dragon energies roared and exploded, ejecting the original spiritual energy that was in the blade and sent it flying towards a row of bamboo, slicing all of them in half. Yi Ming's expression changed as he saw what was happening in front of him. How was he able to catch the dagger? Even a spirit-cultivating second wouldn't dare to attempt that. Yi Ming noticed that the dagger was now in Yi Mo's hands and shouted angrily, "Yi Mo! Return the dagger at once and I'll spare your life. Don't even think about it. You've made a hole in my body. What makes you think I'm giving it back?" Yi Mo smiled. Magic weapons were expensive and powerful. They could even attack someone in the dark. "Hand over the dagger." A cold voice shouted from Yi Ming's back. A guy with long hair walked out from the woods. He had facial features identical to Yi Ming and the face of a strong martial artist. Chapter 16. Pills Markings. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Nyo I.bo Studio Editor. Nyo I.bo Studio. The person that emerged was no other than Yi Ming's own older brother, Yi Ho. He was one of the Yi clan's prodigies and had reached the spirit-cultivating third realm at the age of 16. He was the second strongest disciple in the Yi clan, next to Yi Changsheng. "Ha! I was wondering why you would even come to face me alone. So you actually called in your older brother as well, you loser." Yi Mo snorted. "I've heard of what Yi Ming has done to you. Why don't you return his dagger, shake hands, and leave it as it is?" Yi Ho said with authority. "Who do you think you are? This magic weapon would have cost you more than 100 gold piece, am I right? I'm keeping it." Yi Mo turned and ran as soon as he finished his sentence. Yi Ho laughed and sprinted towards Yi Mo. He was like a fierce wind, kicking all of the dust on the ground up around him. In truth, Yi Mo had never thought of running from the beginning. It was a feint to trick Yi Ho. He knew that Yi Ho would still kill him even if he had returned the dagger. If one could infuse their spiritual energy into the dagger, that meant that Yi Mo could also infuse it with his dragon energy and make it stronger. He diverted all of the 2 channels of dragon energy in his right hand into the dagger, turned, and threw the dagger towards Yi Ho. Infused with the dark dragon energy, the blade turned into a dark dragon mid-air, piercing through the woods. Yi Ho had not expected Yi Mo to take such actions. He quickly stopped and evoked the spirit serpent's palm to try and catch the dagger. He used all of his spirit-cultivating third realm powers and caught the dagger, but to his surprise, he could only change the trajectory of the dagger. The dagger changed its angle and shot the other direction. Yi Ho's right hand was cut by the dagger as he attempted to catch it. The wound was so deep that the white bone under his flesh was visible. And within those few seconds, Yi Mo had already ran out of the woods. "Brother, are you all right?" Yi Ming rushed to his brother's side and asked. He was shocked by the condition of Yi Ho's right hand and shouted in disbelief, "How is this possible?" "It's as you'd said, Yi Mo's strength has suddenly increased. Yi Qin must have given him some treasures before he passed," Yi Ho guessed. The power in Yi Mo's right hand's mortal gate was tremendous. If he was to reach the spirit-cultivating realm, the outcome would be unbearable for the Yi clan. Yi Ming suddenly remembered something and told his brother, "Brother, the day he killed our spirit-cultivating first realm servant, he'd swallowed some high-grade pill that increased his strength by many times over instantly. Don't tell anyone about this. He must be hiding some treasure behind his back," Yi Ho warned. "Let's kill him when we have the chance. With that treasure, I might even have the chance to take the first spot in this year's Limestone Champion List tournament." A devilish smile began to form on Yi Ho's face as if he'd already won the tournament. "You're a dead man, Yi Mo." Yi Ho smirked. Yi Mo ran back to his room covered in blood. Yi Ming and his brother would not act harshly if they were in the Yes mansion, which made Yi Mo sigh in relief. The dragon energies that he'd diverted to his mind and right hand were gone, but the rising dragon pillar had replenished 3 new channels of dragon energy in his energy center. "Young master. Are you alright? Senior Fu was shocked by Yi Mo's appearance. I'm fine, just some minor scratches. I'll be good as new after a good night's rest, Yi Mo explained. Listen, I think it's best if you avoid going out as much as possible for the next few days. Oh, and could you help me send a message to Xiao Chao? Just tell her that after I've reached the spirit-cultivating first realm, we'll be leaving this place. This place is not safe for us anymore. With his understand of Yi Ming and his older brother, Yi Mo knew they would never let this matter slide. Yi Mo took a few revitalization pills and began to meditate, focusing all of his energies in his energy center. His wound began to heal slowly, but a wound left by a magic weapon was harder to heal than those left by a mortal weapon. Let's try the recovery abilities of the dragon energy. Yi Mo channeled one dragon energy to his wound, and with the help of the revitalization pills, his recovery rate doubled. He then focused the other two channels of dragon energy to his wound and, as expected, his recovery rate quadrupled. This dragon energy sure is something. It's not only stronger than your normal spiritual energy, but it can also increase my recovery rate. With the help of the dragon energy, Yi Mo's wound closed in just 2 hours. He was exhausted and went straight to sleep. Yi Mo woke up early the next day and went to the pill refining chamber. He wanted to try and create some spirit-fortifying pills before Elder Yin came in. All of the ingredients for the pill could be found in the room, but Yi Mo was reluctant to use many of them. He'd only threw in enough ingredients to make 10 pills as he was afraid that Elder Yin might find out what he was doing. Yi Mo started the fire and directed one of his dragon energies into the cauldron. Yi Mo, prepare the ingredients. We're going to make more pills today. Elder Yin shouted from outside. His sudden appearance scared Yi Mo. He quickly took his right hand off the cauldron. What's with him? Always appearing at the wrong time. Yi Mo cried in his mind. He was forced to stop his little experiment since Elder Yin came in early. Looks like I'll have to buy myself a cauldron. Yi Mo squatted beside the cauldron, pretending to be tending the flame. Elder Yin, I guessed you might come in early today. I've already prepared all the ingredients and threw them into the cauldron. Elder Yin nodded in delight. Not bad at all. You just might be worth teaching. After we've finished with today's work, I'll give you a few more pills. Thank you, Elder, Yi Mo replied. Elder Yin placed both of his palms on the side of the cauldron. He began to channel his red spiritual energy into the cauldron, preparing to form the shape of the pills. The rising dragon pillar automatically replenished the dragon energy that Yi Mo had just used. He focused one of the channels into his right hand and the other two into his mind. Yi Mo peeked at what was happening inside the cauldron and noticed the dragon energy that he was using before Elder Yin came encircling inside the cauldron. All of the ingredients melted into liquid under the intense heat coming from beneath the cauldron. With the guidance from the red spiritual energy, the pills began to take shape. Put out the fire, Elder Yin instructed as he withdrew his hand from the cauldron. He took a deep breath and turned to Yi Mo. Yi Mo, why are there only ingredients enough for 10 pills inside the cauldron? Well, that's because I was worried that you would be tired from all the work you've been doing, Yi Mo said. You little brat. After all these years as my assistant, is flattery all that you'd learned? Elder Yin scolded. But you've never taught me anything, Yi Mo muttered. You. Elder Yin raised his hand and was about to slap Yi Mo when he realized what Yi Mo had said was true. He'd never taught Yi Mo anything before. Fine. After the Limestone Champion List tournament has ended, I'll teach you how to make some pills. Thank you. Yi Mo removed the lid from the cauldron and handed Elder the 10 spirit fortifying pills that were inside it. Elder Yin took the pills and was stunned by what he saw. Pills markings. Elder Yin exclaimed. I've finally created spirit fortifying pills with marking on them. Pills markings literally meant markings on the pill. The clearer the markings were, the higher its price was. Even though the spirit fortifying pills were second-level training pills, every type of pills could still be divided into different quality grades. The spirit fortifying pills that Elder Ian made could at most be referred to as an average grade. Only spirit fortifying pills with pills markings on them could be considered pills of higher grades. Those could not only enhance a person's training experience but also reinforce their blood flow and strengthen their mortal gates. Its effects were far more stronger than an average grade spirit fortifying pill. Alchemists who could refine pills with markings on them must have extraordinary control over their spiritual energy. They were those who would succeed in their profession as an alchemist. This must be the dragon energy's doing. Yi Mo thought to himself with excitement. Chapter 17. The price should be higher. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Nyo-i.bo Studio Editor. Nyo-i.bo Studio. This must be the dragon energy's doing. Yi Mo smiled in his mind. The dragon energy had performed beyond his expectations. It's stronger than the usual spiritual energy, it could heal wounds quicker, and now, it could help refine pills with pills markings on them. Even though the second-level spirit fortifying pills with markings weren't as strong as the third-level spirit establishing pills, alchemists who could create them were more important than alchemists who could create spirit establishing pills. Any alchemist could refine a high-level pill by understanding the procedure, but with pills with markings, it required the alchemist to have full control over their spiritual energy. Yi Mo laughed with joy in his heart while Elder Yin's laughter echoed throughout the chamber. I'd never thought that I'd be able to create pills with pills markings one day. Looks like I'm now able to show off in front of those geezers at the Alchemist Guild. Elder Ian couldn't hold his excitement and laughed. Elder Ian, you might be old, but you still sure are vigorous. Not only can these pills speed up the training process, but they can also strengthen our body, Yi Mo said, flattering Elder Ian again. You're damn right about the strengthening body part. I'm going to use these pills to advance myself to a Phase 3 alchemist at the guild. Elder Ian kept the pills carefully in his pockets as if they were treasures. He took out 10 normal spirit fortifying pills from his other pocket and gave them to Yi Mo. Here, take these as your reward. We'll be skipping our afternoon schedule. I have to go to the guild right away. Elder Ian stopped as he approached the door and said, I forgive you for not bringing me the pill refining powder. And since you were the one who tended the flames, I'm also overlooking the fact that you stole those spirit cultivating pills from me. But only this once, you understand me. Thank you, Elder Ian. I'll remember not to make any of those mistakes again. Yi Mo cupped his hand and thanked Elder Ian. Looks like Elder Ian was testing him. And since he was in a good mood, he'd offered Yi Mo 10 spirit fortifying pills and even forgave him for his mistakes. It was just as the wise once said, you do something to make someone happy, that person will repay you with 10 times more happiness. I wonder what kind of face he will make when he realizes he won't be able to achieve those pills markings next time. Yi Mo looked at the pills in his hand, and an idea sprung to his mind. He focused all 3 dragon energies into the 10 spirit fortifying pills. After a few moments, 3 small dark dragons hovered for a few seconds and then dug themselves into the pills. A dark light shone in his hand. As the light began to fade, a slight aroma began to drift out from his palm. Pills aroma. Yi Mo yelled excitedly as soon as he recognized the smell. A wise alchemist once said that the pill's markings represented the earth while the pill's aroma represented the heaven. A pill that had both markings and an aroma could fetch a hefty price. I wonder how much I could get if I sold these, Yi Mo said. A spirit cultivating pill costed around 1 silver piece while a spirit fortifying pill was priced around 10 silver piece. As for a third-level spirit establishing pill, the price would be too high to count. Yi Mo kept those spirit fortifying pills and went back to his room. He sat down on his bed and wondered if he should try the effects of the spirit fortifying pills with both markings and an aroma. Yi Mo took one of them, and a faint aroma began to fill his mouth. He could feel the strong and pure energy flow through his throat and into his energy center. Yi Mo started to cultivate his energy center, absorbing the spiritual energies and combining them with the power of the pill. His spiritual energies concentration and absorption level increased by a few dozen folds while the pill's power flowed throughout his body and into his mortal gates, strengthening his body. Let's see if I can awaken the fourth channel of dragon energy before the pill's effects disappear. Yi Mo kept diverting his own spiritual energy to the rising dragon pillar. With the help of the spirit fortifying pill, his spiritual energy surged towards the dragon pillar like a tsunami as if the energy was trying to drown the pillar. And the rising dragon pillar was like a black hole, taking in every last inch of the incoming energies. The fourth dragon that was lying dormant on the pillar began to glow with dark light as if it was trying to break free from the pillar's captivity. Yi Mo quickly swallowed 4 more spirit fortifying pills. The fourth dragon roared. He had finally awakened his fourth dragon energy. All 4 channels of dragon energy were circling his energy center. Below them lay Yi Mo's own colorless spiritual energy. It was as if 4 dragons were soaring in the sky. Yi Mo felt like his body was filled with infinite power. The dragon energies could shake not only the earth but also the heavens. Yi Mo manipulated all 4 channels of dragon energy into his right arm and punched the air. The air where the punch had landed exploded. But suddenly, Yi Mo's legs burned with pain, and he quickly withdrew his arm. Even though the 4 dragon energies have the power of spirit cultivating 4th realm, the power of 8 stones, my body wasn't strong enough to host this power. Yi Mo instantly understood where the pain came from. The dragon's powers were too much for his body to handle. Only once Yi Mo has reached the spirit cultivating realm would his body have the ability to host its full power. But Yi Mo was still glad that he was able to awaken the 4th dragon energy with the help of the spirit fortifying pill. He could now divert 2 dragon energies into both his mind and right hand, which would boost his reaction speed and attacks to the same level as a spirit fortifying 2nd realm martial artist. If Yi Mo could break through the mortal gates in both of his legs and awaken another 2 dragon energies, he would have the chance to win against a spirit fortifying 2nd realm martial artist. Now that I fully understand the effects of these pills, I can create as many as I want. Yi Mo took the remaining 5 pills and left Ye's mansion. Spirit fortifying pills with both markings and an aroma were 2 times stronger than the average spirit fortifying pills. The price on those pills was very high. He could sell the pills in his hand and use the money he gained to buy more average spirit fortifying pills. The cycle would never end as long as he could make more pills of this caliber. He was already uninterested in refining more pills. Yi Mo went to the 100 Treasure Pavilion. One of the staff saw Yi Mo coming in and was stunned for a while before saying, "Aren't you the assistant that crushed Mo Feng's arm last time?" "That's me." "What? You aren't telling me that you won't be doing business with me after what I did, are you?" Yi Mo asked. "Of course not. Manager Qi has already ordered us to give you some pill refining powder as a gift when you come in," the staff said. Bedo Yi Mo wasn't surprised to hear that. Qi Yin was a businesswoman. It was clear as day that she would want to get on the good side of an assistant who hasn't reached the spirit fortifying realm but has the power to hurt Mo Feng. "I don't need those powders anymore. Little brother, are you angry at me?" Qi Yin said as she walked towards Yi Mo with an innocent face. "You should know that a weak little girl like me wouldn't dare to offend anyone in this city. So you aren't afraid of the Mo clan now?" Yi Mo smiled coldly. It wasn't that Yi Mo had no interest in pretty girls, but Qi Yin was a coquettish woman that he shouldn't get close to. You must come from some huge background, or else you wouldn't have the power to defeat someone like Mo Feng. You're just not a simple helper, am I right? Qi Yin smiled. "Let's get back to the main topic, shall we? I have 5 spirit fortifying pills with me. Do you want to buy them?" Yi Mo said. In truth, it was Xiao Yu who took care of the matter between him and Imo Feng. Of course we're buying them. Xiao Wu, get a piece of gold for this little brother, Qi Yin ordered the staff. The staff took out a piece of gold from his pocket and gave it to Emo. The market price for the spirit fortifying pill was 10 silver pieces for 1 pill. 5 pills would normally only fetch Emo 50 silver pieces at most. Qi Yin was obviously trying to get on Emo's good side. You're giving me 20 silver pieces for a pill before even taking a look at them. Are you even taking this seriously? Little brother, the market price for the spirit fortifying pill is 10 silver pieces for 1 pill. The other 50 silver pieces are for what happened the other day, Qi Yin explained while she pulled up her dress a little bit and flaunted one of her attractive, pale white legs. Emo glanced at her leg, which would make any man drool, and said, I'm not saying that the price was too high, I'm saying that you might be paying too little. Emo took out the 5 spirit fortifying pills from his pockets. There were clear pills markings on them, and the room soon began to fill with the pill's aroma. The pills in Emo's hand quickly caught Qi Yin's attention. Her beautiful face was filled with disbelief. Chapter 18. High-grade magic weapon. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Nyo-i.bo Studio Editor. Nyo-i.bo Studio. Qi Yin had seen many treasures before in her career as the manager of the 100 Treasure Pavilion. She understood the quality of the fortifying pills in Emo's hand. They have markings on them while aromas seeped out from them. Only a high-phase alchemist or someone with extraordinary talents could create pills of such caliber. Even though the stabilizing pills could produce much stronger effects than the pills Emo was holding, fortifying pills with pills markings had the ability to strengthen the user's body. Qi Yin quickly recovered from her shock and said, Little brother, looks like you have a very talented alchemist backing you up. The fortifying pills that you are holding have both markings and aroma. Extraordinary. But I still have to give them to our appraiser to check their qualities. How about we discuss the price after that? No problem. Emo handed over the pills to Qi Yin. She unconsciously, or consciously, touched his hand when she took the pills and left. Emo's heart fluttered when touched by her cold hand and scolded himself in his mind. After that, he went over to the weapons shop. Emo finally understood the importance of weapons after his battle with Yi Ming, especially weapons which the users could infuse with their spirit energy. The shopkeeper saw Emo coming in and smiled. Good morning. What do you need? We sell all sorts of daggers, swords, spears, halberds, canes, maces, and forks. Are there any magic weapons? Emo asked as he was not interested in mortal weapons. If he could infuse all 3 dragon energies into a magic weapon, he could unleash attacks that have the forces of a spirit cultivating 4th realm. Magic weapons. Those are quite rare. I don't have them. You might want to try your luck at the auction house, the shopkeeper replied. Little brother, if you're looking for magic weapons, I might be able to help you, Qi Yin said as she walked towards them. So, you do have magic weapons here? Emo asked, surprised. Qi Yin shook her head and said, No, we don't. You can only get magic weapons from the Mian auction house. According to my sources, they are going to sell a high-grade magic weapon in 3 days. A high-grade magic weapon. Emo exclaimed. The news has been spreading like wildfire. Qi Yin smiled. Quite a few young masters have their eyes locked on that particular weapon. Then that's a pity, Emo said, shaking his head. The price of the magic weapon would skyrocket. The money he had on him wouldn't even be enough to buy the hilt of the weapon. I think you might be able to fight on even grounds with them though. A high-end magic weapon is even a rare sight in the whole Tianwu kingdom. The appraisal results of the pills were more than what Qi Yin expected. The pills have already reached the highest quality. The one who created those pills, Emo's master, must be some genius. What do you mean by that? Yemo wanted the magic weapon badly, but before that he needed money and power. Even if he had the money, people would still attempt to steal it away from him before he could even leave the auction house. I've already appraised the 5 fortifying pills you handed me, Chi-In explained. They are the highest quality pills, which means that you must have quite the master backing you up. If you could ask your master for help, winning the auction wouldn't be much of a problem. But there was always a hidden rule at the auction house for bidding on items that everyone wanted. Money was not the only thing a person needed. They would also need to have the power and ability to get it out of the auction house. My master is very odd. He doesn't like to get out much, Yemo said. Let me warn you first, little brother. If you want to enter the Miang auction house, you'll need to prepare at least 1 purple gold, Chi-In warned. Oh, and we're still unable to put a price on the pills you gave me. Why don't I put it up at the auction in 3 days? We'll only charge you a 20% handling fee. Yemo nodded. Fine with me. Here, take these 2 gold pieces as a deposit. I'll give you the rest of the money once the auction has ended, Chi-In said as she handed Yemo 2 pieces of gold. Yemo took the gold pieces and left the 100 treasure pavilion. Miss, do you want to send someone to check on his background? An uncanny old man in his 60s came out from the back and asked. That won't be necessary. This young man and his master are not from around here, Chi-In said. Limestone City doesn't have any alchemists with the potential to reach such levels. And the better the alchemist, the weirder he is. If they were to notice that we are poking around behind their backs, they might send us trouble. Next time, try and get on the young man's good side as much as possible. He's going to bring us, the Chi clan, many benefits. The enchanting smile on Chi-Yin's face began to fade and her expressions became more serious. Understood. The old man also knew that an alchemist with such talent could be a terror. It would be best if he were on their side. After Yemo had left the 100 treasure pavilion, he put on his tiger mask and went straight to the Zhao's mansion. Xiao Feng and Xiao Yu were nowhere to be found in the martial pavilion at the Zhao's mansion. One of the disciples handed Yemo 5 fortifying pills and told him to train. Yemo took the pills but did not use them. If he could refine the pills even further with his dragon energies, the best course of action would be taking them after doing so. But since Yemo was still in Zhao's mansion, he did not want anyone to see what he was capable of, so he put away the fortifying pills and went to the 2nd floor, curious of what he would find there. Xiao Feng had told him there were 2 spirit-cultivating 2nd realm foreign aids on the 2nd floor, and that both of them were prodigies too. Now that Yemo had awakened 4 channels of dragon energy, he wanted to test the strength of those 2 foreign aids. Yemo strolled towards the 2nd floor and saw a guy and a girl sparring. Both of them were around Yemo's age, yet they had already reached the spirit-cultivating 2nd realm. Spirit energies burst from their every clash and shook the air around them, slightly shaking the whole martial pavilion. The spirit-cultivating 2nd realm sure is something. Yemo sighed. Even though he could produce forces equal to a spirit-cultivating 2nd realm, he had still yet to reach the spirit-cultivating realm. A fight between 2 martial artists does not only focus on their strength but also their overall performance. The palms of the 2 martial artists slammed together, and both of them took a few steps back from the reacting force. Suddenly, the girl in black robes noticed there was another person in the same room. Who's there? The girl shouted and started to sprint towards Yemo. Ice blue spiritual energy covered her right hand as she shot it towards him. What a vicious girl. She did not even give me the chance to reply and straight on attacks me. Yemo quickly focused 3 channels of dragon energy into his right hand's mortal gate as it mimicked a spirit serpent and swirled around the girl's hand, ignoring the incoming attack. Ah! The girl shrieked before she could even react. Chapter 19. The Leng Siblings. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Translator. Nyo I.Bo Studio Editor. Nyo Iwo Studio. The girl in the black robe was short and petite. Yi Mo's spirit serpent's palm quickly coiled around her thin arm and grabbed it. When the girl shrieked, Yi Mo blushed and quickly let go of her arm. The girl sat on the ground and cried. After a few seconds, the girl stood up, her pretty face full of murder as she punched towards Yi Mo. Yi Mo was not about to be punched by some girl, so he quickly evaded the attack. The girl was both angry and anxious about not being able to hit Yi Mo. She turned towards the boy behind her and said, "Brother, help me kill this pervert." "Miss, aren't you misunderstanding something?" Yi Mo asked with an innocent face. Why did the girl want to kill him suddenly? Misunderstanding. You grabbed my arm with that filthy hand of yours. The girl was a neat freak. The only man who touched her before this was her father. Now she was angered because she was touched by a pervert. You started to attack me before asking who I was. I would be dead if I were a normal person, Yi Mo argued. What a troublesome girl. How did she even advance to the spirit-cultivating second realm with that temper? You. The girl stared at Yi Mo like her eyes were on fire and would explode any moment. Brother. Punish him. Stop it, Leng Leng, the guy said and shook his head. Leng Leng understood that Yi Mo was stronger than her and just stared at Yi Mo viciously. You must be the third foreign aide for the Shao clan. My name is Leng Feng, and this is my sister, Leng Leng. We're both from the Leng clan of Limestone City, the guy said and cupped his hand. You guys are from the Leng clan. Why are you helping the Shao clan? Yi Mo asked curiously. Even though the Leng clan was not one of the four biggest clans, they still had respectable strength. Brother, look, he's wearing a tiger mask. He must be some thief or pervert. Let's take him down and send him to the guards. Maybe we could even get rewarded by the city lord. Leng Leng was still furious at Yi Mo. She was going to take every chance she had to make his life miserable. Leng Feng could not help but shake his head and smile. Please forgive my sister's behavior. She was spoiled from the moment she was born. Even though the Leng clan has power, with our strength, it's hard for us to get into the top 5 of the Limestone Champion list. Only with the help from Shao clan's resources do we have the chance to get into the top 5. Plus, I'm kind of into Miss Xiaoyu, so of course we'll be helping her. Even though there were 10 spots in the Limestone Champion list, the 3 major alliances would only scout the top 5 martial artists. 2 for the Qingyun Alliance, 2 for the Tiandi Alliance and 1 for the Wushuang Alliance. The only way to get into these alliances was to get into the top 5 rankings. Nice to meet you, Brother Leng Feng. My name is Yi Mo. I'm also one of the foreign aides. But I'll say this first, the foreign aide spot will be mine to take, Yi Mo said as he took off his tiger mask and showed his handsome face. His face was bright with friendly smile. Leng Feng seemed like a good guy to him, someone who was worthy of being called a friend. As long as you can win against me before the tournament, then I'm willing to give you the spot. But let me warn you, I'm not that weak myself, Leng Feng said and laughed, not showing any hostility. You pervert, don't even think you can defeat my brother. Leng Leng smirked. Even though he's only in the spirit-cultivating second realm, he will reach the third realm in 1 month. What's more, he has a low-grade magic weapon. He could easily wipe out martial artists who were on his level. A spirit-cultivating third-realm martial artist with a low-grade magic weapon definitely could wipe out any martial artist of the same realm. We won't know for no. Yi Mo shrugged. He would rather prove himself through his strength rather than wasting time with her. Leng Leng got angrier from Yi Mo's expression. This guy. Wait. Did he say his name is Yi Mo? She suddenly remembered something and mumbled, You're Yi Mo Yi Qing's son. The trash that didn't even break through a single mortal gate after 5 years of training. Not everyone in the Limestone City knew who Yi Mo was, but that didn't mean he wasn't famous. Yi Mo was born with expectations to be someone powerful like his father. The news of him not being able to break through a single mortal gate after 5 years of training had spread throughout the whole city. Leng Feng remembered who Yi Mo was after Leng Leng has called out who Yi Mo was. Rumors had it that Yi Mo was trash, yet he was able to break Leng Leng's attack with ease. Looks like I'm known throughout the city as trash, huh? But mark my word, in 2 months, I'm going to be known as a genius who has surpassed Yi Qing. Yi Mo said with confidence. Leng Leng stared at Yi Mo's confidence and became slightly gentler towards him. You're just a pervert who would submit to only parlor tricks. You'll have to defeat my brother first before you get to make that statement. Leng Leng shook her head and thought, that's right. He's just a pervert controlled by his lust. We've finished our training, so we'll be taking our leave, Leng Feng said as he headed towards the stairs. Leng Leng smiled and followed her brother, leaving Yi Mo behind. Brother, if we could win the bid on the high-grade magic weapon at the auction, our chances of getting into the top 5 will be even higher, Leng Leng whispered as she followed behind Leng Feng. Yet Yi Mo was still able to hear what she was saying. How could we win the bid when the 4 biggest clans are going to bid for it too? Our father has ordered us not to participate in the auction, Leng Feng said as they walked towards the first floor. Come on, the auction will be crowded with all different kinds of stuff. I want to go, even the Leng clan wouldn't dare to place their bid on the magic weapon. Looks like it won't be easy for me to get the weapon. Yi Mo thought. If he were able to get his hands on the high-grade magic weapon, it would make him stronger. Yi Mo trained his martial technique in the martial pavilion for some time and left. He kept the tiger mask in his pocket and walked towards Ye's mansion. He met Elder Yin on his way back. Elder Yin hung his head low and was letting out sigh after sigh. Elder Yin! Yi Mo shouted and ran towards him. Oh, Yi Mo, looks like it was only pure luck, me creating those fortifying pills with pills markings, Elder Yin said with another sigh. It was natural that Elder Yi was not able to create more pills of that level since they were created with Yi Mo's dragon energies. Don't give up just yet, Elder Yin. I believe you'll be able to create fortifying pills with markings again. Yi Mo smiled as he consoled Elder Yin and clapped a hand upon Elder Yin's shoulder. Of course, a mere helper like you wouldn't understand how hard is it to create those pills, someone scorned. It came from an old man wearing a grey robe. He wore a pin in front of his chest like Elder Yin. The only difference was that it was a pin for a Phase 3 alchemist. There were only 2 Phase 3 alchemists in all of Limestone City. One of them was Qin Mo, the guild master of the Alchemist Guild and the Lord of Limestone City. Old man Yin, don't come and show your face at the guild if you don't have the skills. What's more, you're bringing a helper that doesn't have a basic understanding of pill refining. If I were you, I would have just found another helper. Chapter 20. True Energy Pill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Nyo-i.bo Studio Editor. Nyo-i.bo Studio. Let's go, Yi Mo. Elder Yin did not retort to the old man's taunt but instead urged Yi Mo to leave. But Yi Mo felt guilty as he was responsible for Elder Yin's humiliation at the Alchemist Guild. Yi Mo thought of all the time he had spent with Elder Yin. Other than Elder Yin's temper, he'd actually been treating Yi Mo well. Now that Elder Yin was humiliated by others, how could Yi Mo not get angry? Master, is it possible that you were low on energy when you were taking the guild's test? It's possible since you just created a whole cauldron of fortifying pills with pills markings on them, Yi Mo suggested. Master. Yi Mo asked again as Elder Yin did not respond. Elder Yin was stunned by what Yi Mo had said and didn't know how to respond. His old face was full of shock. A whole cauldron of fortifying pills with pills markings. Do you think it's that easy? The old man in grey robe questioned his assistant, who was spouting a bunch of nonsense in front of him. There are a total of 10 alchemists in the Alchemist Guild, but only the guild master was only able to create them. Even he cannot achieve a 100% success rate. Are you telling me that this old man is better than the guild master? Yemo, stop spouting nonsense. Let's go. Elder Ian pulled Yemo away. He understood how proficient he was in pill refining. He'd only just learned how to create fortifying pills. It was impossible for him to create fortifying pills with pills markings in such a short time. Yemo was only trying to pressure Elder Hua, but Elder Hua was still a Phase 3 alchemist who could create rank 3 pills. Master, if he's criticizing your skills, that means he's also criticizing my skills. If you don't want to punish him for that, then let me help you out. I'll show him what a fortifying pill with pills markings looks like, Yemo said. Stop it, Yemo. I haven't even taught you any pill refining technique. It's impossible for you to create pills yet, Elder Ian said. Elder Hua heard what Yemo had said and smiled coldly. What a brat. Even my apprentice Mo Fong wouldn't dare say he has the skills to create fortifying pills, and here you are saying you could create them with pills markings. Looks like you're no different from your master, always boasting. Elder Hua said. Mo Fong. Is he any good? Why haven't I heard of him yet? He's at most a trust in front of me, Yemo said coldly. Elder Ian. Only if your apprentice's refining skill was as good as his mouth, then he might be worth teaching. Elder Hua said as he turned to leave. A Phase 3 alchemist arguing with a 15-year-old boy was unprofessional. Master, these 5 pills are the fortifying pills that you had created last night. There are pills markings on all of them, Yemo said as he took out 5 fortifying pills that he had further refined using the dragon energies. All of them had clear markings on them. Elder Ian looked at the pills in Yemo's hand. He was surprised by what he was seeing. How did this kid that has only been tending flames all this time create pills of this caliber? Does he have the talent to create such pills? That was not possible. Mo Fong had already been acknowledged as a genius for being able to create rank 2 fortifying pills at his age. It wasn't possible for Yemo to achieve something greater than that. Did you think that would scare me? Elder Hua naturally doesn't believe what Yemo had said. Then let's go to the guild again. My master will recreate these pills in front of you and the guild master, Yemo said with confidence. Fine. Do you think I'm intimidated by you? Elder Hua swung his sleeves and headed straight towards the Alchemist Guild first. What are you doing, Yemo? I tried it just now. It's impossible for me to create pills of this level, Elder Ian whispered, afraid that Elder Hua would hear what he was saying. Elder Ian was already at an age where his dignity mattered the most. Elder Ian, you'll just have to focus on refining the pills later. I'll take care of the rest for you. Be ready for a huge surprise. Yemo smiled. Fine. I've already embarrassed myself once. Why not let you try? Elder Ian sighed. The 3 of them walked towards the Alchemist Guild. The Alchemist Guild in Limestone City had only 10 members. It was created by the best alchemist in Limestone City. Chin-Mo was a member of the Chin clan and was a Phase 3 alchemist. Even though Chin-Mo had the same rank as Elder Hua, their skills were miles apart. The 3 arrived at an unsophisticated pavilion. Yemo raised his head and noticed the word pill written on the signboard. Here we are at the pill pavilion. Let's see how you created those pills, shall we? Elder Hua said and went inside. Elder Ian led Yemo into the building with a worried face. The 3 of them arrived in a room filled with aromas from the herbs. A huge cauldron was placed in the center of the room. The cauldron was so huge that it required 4 people to fully hug it, and it was over 6 feet tall. An old man with white hair and a long beard stood at one, focused on a book in his hand. Elder Hua, Elder Ian, why are you 2 here? The old man asked. He had heard people walking by. Guild Master, Elder Yin still insisting that he's able to create fortifying pills with pills markings. I want to see how he does it and learn something from him, Elder Hua said in a respectful tone. Elder Yin was flustered by what Elder Hua had said. He'd embarrassed himself in front of a few alchemists not long ago. Now that he was in front of the Guild Master, he had nowhere to hide. Elder Yin, didn't you take the test not long ago? Your control over the spiritual energy is far from creating such pills. If that's it, then leave. I'm trying to study the method to create a rank 3 true energy pill, Qin Mo said. Guild Master, are you seriously trying to create the true energy pill? Elder Hua and Elder Yin were both surprised by what Qin Mo had said. Pills could be separated into 3 different categories: healing pills, training pills, and limit-breaking pills. The true energy pill had the power to help martial artists break into the true energy realm. Martial artists such as the city lord Qin Hao, Yi Clan's Yi Kuang, and Mo Clan's Mo Rulong were all stuck in the energy-shaping 9th realm in Limestone City with no method to advance into the true energy realm. Even though it was only one step away from the true spirit realm, these energy-shaping 9th realm martial artists had been looking for ways to break through their limits for a long time. Each of the aforementioned martial artists wanted to break into the true energy realm and then into the unified energy realm. Because only then could they be the strongest clan in all of Limestone City. Everybody below the true energy realm were mere peasants to them. The true energy pill was the best pill to help any energy-shaping 9th realm martial artist achieve what they'd longed for.